Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. So let's discuss the TFL SEC situation a little bit more. Let's get our heads in the right space. Let's understand what dates are important. And let's kind of look at this in a perspective which is from our perspective only, from the LUNC perspective. What everybody needs to walk into this moving forward understanding is this is bullish for us. If they win, good for us. If they lose, even better for us. So regardless the outcome of this case, with all of the pain it's going to cause, the ultimatum and endpoint of this is only going to be bullish for us. So something that a lot of people are probably going to get quite confused with is the changing of dates. You get a hearing, you get a motion, you get a hearing, you get an omnibus hearing, you get another motion, and lots of different things are going on in between. And I've noticed a few people that are reporting on certain parts, but I was a little bit confused because I was like looking for this information thinking, where are they getting this information from? It doesn't make any sense. The only thing that people can be reporting on at the moment is the back and forth calls between Rakoff and the legal teams, and maybe a few dockets that have been coming up. So let me bring you up to speed, up to scratch. I'm going to leave a link to this website. It's where everything's going to be. It's going to have everything you need to know about the court case as it happens. They'll upload everything here. I think the only thing they don't upload here is the audio transcripts, but we can get those from somewhere else, as I've previously shown on the channel. We'll be going through those because there's something for me which is very, very gripping and very bullish. And as I'm saying that, I'm like clenching my hands together. They're very sweaty when I think about how much LUNC and USTC these guys have got hiding behind the scenes, because everybody remembers TFL swaying the votes coming out of nowhere, coins coming out of nowhere. So we know there's a substantial amount that just exists in the TFL sector. So anyway, I'm getting on a bit of a side tangent there. We'll get onto that shortly, but the date you will need to understand is April 18th at the moment, and this has been changed because there was a motion, and I'll bring this up now. I'll leave links to that in the description. Like I said, folks, do use that to your advantage. So this is the most recent and updated docket on the site, and it is docket number 183. And this is scheduling an omnibus hearing date for May 15th, 2024 at 10:30 a.m. And I think the reason why it's been moved forward is because they're trying to get an extension through a motion so they could submit all of the different financials and everything that they more or less own, so to speak, going into this court case. We'll get onto that shortly. But as you saw on the previous screen, it's flashing up at April 18th, but I think the next actual date now is May 15th. But we just have to see how this unfolds and if any new dockets come up between those times. So like I was saying, we're going to find out a lot of interesting stuff throughout this whole hearing. And one of the most important points of this hearing for us is the assets. Okay, all of the different assets that they own. So like I was saying, this is another docket that's available. You can look at this one, and this is a notice of motion and hearing. And it's a motion of the debitor for entry of order, further extending time to file schedules of assets and liabilities and a statement of financial affairs. This is really important for us. So the motion to move everything forward a little bit, them getting this approved, for me, this is good news because they're getting all of their frogs into the right boxes, so to speak. And like I said, we're going to get so much more from this court case than anybody could ever fathom. We're going to probably get to the bottom of everything. And at some point, what's going to happen is the Genesis ledger books are going to come up. The wallet address is going to get dropped. And it's at that point, someone like me can go off and use our money flow tool to find out who caused the crash down to the minute. And I mean down to the minute with the money flow tool. So like I was saying, this whole motion and them getting it granted. So the motion is granted and set forth herein. The debitor is granted a further extension of the deadline to file its schedules and statements and its initial 2015 report through and including May 6th, 2024, without prejudice to the debit's right to seek further extensions of such deadlines. So what everybody needs to understand is these dates, they could just keep getting moved forward. It's going to chop and change so much that we're just going to have to keep an eye on it at all times and try to keep as updated as possible. Now, let's look at this from our perspective, okay? And then let's look at this from an XRP perspective at the same time. And we say to ourselves, our blockchain has a very substantial Oracle rewards pool, and it's getting a very substantial community pool. Now, if we was to be in TFL situation, we would be very reliant on that community rewards pool. The Oracle rewards pool is inaccessible for anybody. If someone wants to tap into that, you're risking shutting the whole chain down. Now, if you think about XRP versus SEC currently, they've just slapped them with a $2 billion fine, knowing that they cannot afford to pay that fine. Gary himself, he knows that that is going to fall, you guessed it, on the XRP blockchain itself, if that fine is to go through. So look at XRP, look at everything that they've gone through, and now look back at TFL from their perspective and say to yourselves, how are they going to afford all of these different court costs? Right? It's a genuine question I think everybody needs to ask themselves and ask other people. How are they going to afford to do it? Go and look at their community pool. That will tell you how much funds that they've got. They get funded from the community pool, and they've always been funded from the community pool. So all of their funds come from the community pool. Now, an omnibus hearing, okay, is to more or less dictate what route this situation is going to take. Are they going to go to trial? Okay. Are they just going to plead guilty, admit that they are in the wrong, and pay the fines? All right. And that is literally what it boils down to. And this is all going to come down bite to crunch, that is TFL even going to be able to pay to go through this court case? Now, if we think about DK, right? If we look at DK's situation, he's either getting extradited to the US or to South Korea, and everything seems to be weighing in South Korea's favor at the moment, which I find quite peculiar. But then I thought to myself, well, maybe the SEC and America already have their bite of the biscuit, so to speak, because they've actually got TFL, haven't they? Right. So let's think about it a little bit more deeper and think to ourselves, what happened to the other guy? Well, the other guy got a life sentence in South Korea. So no matter what happens in these situations, whether DK goes to the United States or if he goes to South Korea, he's not going home. He's not going home to his family. He's going to be put in a 5x5 cell. He's going to be sleeping with cardboard underpants on, and it's not going to be a very cash money time for him. And we just don't know what this entails. But what we do know is he's not coming back. And this is now all down to TFL to push this forward. So like I was saying at the beginning, there's a lot of bullish news here if you know how to understand and depict what's going on. Now, all of these court cases, all of the important information I've gone through here, I'll leave links to it. I'll drop everything in the description. But like I was saying at the beginning of this video, if you want any information about the court case, you just need to go here. There's absolutely everything from every single docket to every single document moving forward. And they update these things all of the time. Even if there's a motion for someone to hire a chicken to lay eggs during a court case, it's going to be in here, guys. If they're filing for cardboard underpants for somebody in jail, it's going to be in here. And this is where you're going to get all of your information, even if there's someone making claims, counterclaims, all of these different things. So you're going to get this information here. So as much as you're going to be reliant on other people kind of reporting this to you, you've got this here. It's a tool. Utilize it and go out and do your own research so you can better understand the situation that's going on. Now, what to expect with the prices of LUNC, Luna, and USTC? USTC is a very grey area at the moment. A lot of people are asking about it, but I just think a lot of people have committed to the idea of We Mint Cash. So I think that has kind of put USTC into a very dark zone, so to speak, without getting into all of the ins and outs of a possible repeg. It's in a dark zone, but it will move with LUNC and Luna. It will go up or it will go down depending on what those two are doing. Now, what is going to happen with the Luna price, with the LUNC price? If there's any news about DK moving, traveling anywhere, the likelihood is the prices are going to move upwards. Right? If there's any kind of bogus claims that he's free, the price is going to go upwards. Okay, but what everybody needs to understand is how precarious this thing is. Go and look at the SEC XRP court case. Look at the day when it all hit, when it all first started to land and it become a real reality, and look at the price. And then look at more or less our sector and say to ourselves, well, we're DeFi. That's a completely different sector. So there's all of these different things that you need to take into account when trying to navigate through this. It's going to be ever changing. It's like every day this thing's going to change. It's going to take turns. It's going to take twists. It's going to go up. It's going to go down. But ultimately, like I've been saying, this is just bullish for us overall. We're going to get everything we need to know moving forward. And the likelihood is it's going to bring a lot of transparency to our sector. And transparency is what we need right now, especially with all of the idea that anonymous devs are the way that crypto works. And that's just not the case. I've gone to so many blockchains and just like poked around, and everybody's KYC, everybody has a certic audit, or they've got an audit, they've got a gold audit, they've got some kind of certificate that says I am who I say I am. So transparency for me is absolutely everything moving forward. But if you guys have seen anything that I haven't mentioned here in this video on the court case, if there's anything I'm missing, feel free to show me it in the comments section. I'll go over it. If there's any coins you want me to cover, just let me know. I'll cover it where and whenever I can. Guys, other than that, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.